Welcome to a sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. There is a buzz here around Florida State that we haven't seen in some time. The Noles are unbeaten. They've got a pair of dramatic wins the last few weeks, and tonight they face Boston College. Jeff Hafley, Phil Jerkovic, and Zay Flowers here in enemy territory off their first win of the season on Saturday back in Chestnut Hill against Maine. Nearly 80,000 have packed this place for Boston College and Florida State. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Tim Hasselbeck, Mike Monaco, Kelsey Riggs downstairs. Tim, it has been 7 years since Florida State started a season 3-0, and this feels like a big-time atmosphere. Travis goes that way, deep down the field, and caught. Portier's got the touchdown. On first down, toward the end zone for Pittman. Oh, what a catch! Syracuse in the red zone. Schrader looks left, wants Gadsden. Got him for a touchdown. Big time atmosphere. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Tim Hasselbeck, Mike Monaco with you. Kelsey Riggs joins us in a moment. Fantastic start for Syracuse, but now it gets serious. Their first ranked opponent in NC State. Two running backs beside him. On a rollout, Travis lofts it wide open. Pokey Wilson stays on his feet. And Pokey Wilson inside the 20 before he's brought down by Josh DeBerry. Drive started at the Seminole 8-yard line. Travis throws. Left side, lofts it, and Boykin's there to pick it off. Wow! Out of timeouts. 2:27 to go. Syracuse on the ground with Tucker. To the edge. To the end zone. Sean Tucker from 25 yards out. Boston College won the toss, deferred, and Florida State receives the opening kickoff. It's Trey Benson. Crosses over the 20 with a seam past the 40. And Trey Benson is into the open field inside the 20 with a stiff arm. And how's that for a start for the Noles? 93 yards to the house. What a start for Florida State.
Mike, it wasn't just speed. You know, a few broken tackles along the way as well. And, you know, what a start.
Ryan Fitzgerald is on for the extra point. Backed up. And he curls it inside the uprights.
You know, the kick, you mentioned it. You know, a bit of a short kick. He's able to kind of hit it running. And you see there, just missed tackles. It wasn't like Michael Pittman, who kind of missed the block. DeBerry not able to catch him, and just too much speed by Trey Benson. You know, talking this week about the running backs for Florida State, you know, they were clear. They feel like they have a stable of backs, and Trey Benson obviously gets a crack with the ball in his hands. And look at Mike Norvell, looking like he maybe could cover a kick. He was so excited about it.
Well, and on the Boston College side of things, Jeff Hafley said last weekend, even in a win, that special teams had been their biggest bright spot in their first two games, but failed them Saturday in that win over Maine.
Well, and look, you know, it's been well documented, some of the issues that Boston College has. Injuries on both sides of the football, especially along the offensive and defensive line. And, you know, to give up a special team score is the last thing you can do when you already feel like you're a bit overmatched.
So 13 seconds in, it's a deficit for Phil Jerkovic and the Boston College offense. The fifth-year senior from Pittsburgh, third-year starter with the Eagles after a couple of years at Notre Dame, and you alluded to it, he's been under a ton of pressure.
Been under a ton of pressure, Mike, and the key for Phil Jerkovic is to understand that getting hit's going to be part of the equation playing behind this offensive line. That's okay, but do your best to play on time, avoid negative plays to give your team a chance.
Pressure comes on first down from the Noles, and the pass incomplete, intended for Zay Flowers, the senior star wideout.
You know, in Florida State, Mike, you know, first play, decide come with a free safety blitz. So seems like maybe the idea by Adam Fuller, defensive coordinator for Florida State, is this offensive line, with this crowd noise, let's make them communicate and pick up blitz pressures.
You said you would zone blitz Boston College quite a bit if it were you.
Yeah, cause confusion for the guys up front.
This is Pat Garwo, a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Robert Cooper makes the stop on a gain of 4.
And you know, the other thing that's going to be a challenge is third and long, known passing situations. You know, just where it takes the mystery out of it for the defensive line. And that's what you're already dealing with for BC. It was an issue against Virginia Tech. They were living in third and long. This one a bit more manageable if you can deal with the noise.
Yeah, they were 2 for 15 on third downs in Blacksburg in that game against the Hokies. Flowers in motion, slot right. Third down at 6. Quickly out of the hands and picked off. Duke Cooper with the interception for Florida State.
Yeah, it's just a bad throw by Phil Dracovic. You know, Boston College is getting a stack release for Zay Flowers, and you know, looks like he's trying to talk to Zay about his release, but you get the stack release, no outcut, and ball thrown behind, inaccurate throw. It's tipped, and Cooper makes a good play on the football.
When it comes to evaluating Dracovic, it hasn't all been the offensive line play through 3 games.
And that's fair enough, Mike, and right there, and you could see he was trying to have a conversation with Flowers coming off the field. I don't know if he said, hey, you're too quick, like you're breaking out too soon, I'm not ready for you. You can see he's trying to talk to him as they leave the field, and you know, either way, out-breaking route, got to miss outside.
An interception. The previous play is under further review.
They will review the interception, at least for now, for Duke Cooper. He's had an injury-plagued start to his season. Back in there for the Noles. And did he pick this off on third down for Florida State? Back in Tallahassee, it went to review, and the interception from Duke Cooper stands for the Noles.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Cooper. You can tell, Mike, that he's got his right arm underneath that football. Good call by the officials.
Pre-snap movement. And a handoff here on Florida State's first offensive play. Trayshawn Ward, the leading rusher, for a yard. So Jordan Travis, boy, what kind of career it's been for him. All the ups and downs, but he is playing the best football of his career.
He is, Mike, because I think he's a more confident passer right now, and he's always been a good runner, but throwing the football has been more effective.
Rolls out, and the pass incomplete, intended for Johnny Wilson off the big game last Friday.
A little miscommunication. You see Jordan Travis is like, hey, you're open. Like, you don't need to run anywhere. Stay right there. I think, you know, when you get out of rhythm a little bit, you know, if you're Johnny Wilson, you're like, hey, the quarterback's running to me, decides to move, but go ahead and sit right there when no one's around you.
So it sets up 3rd and 9 for Florida State inside the 35 of Boston College. BC brings pressure. Travis flushed and incomplete. Looking for Ontaria Wilson. And it brings up 4th down and 9.
This is a nice stop by Boston College defensively to force a field goal attempt. Bryce Steele basically decides, you know, he's coming inside here. This A-gap pressure is what forces Travis to have to get rid of the ball quickly, and there's nowhere for him to escape outside the pocket. Just not able to find Pokey Wilson. And looks like Florida State kind of in no man's land, Mike. Going to stay out here on the field.
Both these teams have had field goal issues. Both had a couple of misses in their last game. So 4th down and 9. The offense started to come off the field and then went back out. Lawrence Toafili, the running back. Pressure again. Travis wants it, and it's complete to Cameron McDonald. Diving toward the goal line and marked out at the 1. 32-yard pickup on 4th down.
Well, the call pays off for Mike Norvell because on 3rd down, BC brought pressure. It wasn't picked up. They had to throw it away. On 4th down, Jordan Travis does an excellent job of standing in there under the pressure of the blitz to find McDonald.
Second week in a row, he has had a big gain early on. Toa Philly on 1st down into the end zone for a Florida State touchdown.
How about this start for Florida State? You run back the opening kick, you come up with a turnover defensively, you have a huge 4th down conversion, you're able to punch it in. Could not be a better start for the Noles.
And the stuff of nightmares for Boston College. We chatted on the field pregame with Jeff Hafley. What do you say? We got to withstand the first 5 minutes of this game. We're just over 2 minutes in. Ton of returning quarterbacks in the ACC this year, including Garrett Schrader. Year one with a new offensive coordinator and Robert Anai. And boy, they marched down the field on their first possession, then 3 and out on their second time. And with the lead here in the first quarter, we'll get the football. What impact has Robert Anai made?
Well, he runs a diverse offense, and he's creative, yet it's simple for their guys. But he does a great job of getting guys open, causing confusion. Here's Aranda Gadsden earlier in the year against Louisville. Here's Gadsden again against Purdue. Finding ways to design guys free, especially versus man coverage, confusing to the defense. And I think that by doing that, it's one of the reasons we've seen Garrett Schrader, his completion percentage rise so much. You know, you go back a year ago, just over half of his passes. This year, he's been remarkable in terms of how efficient he's been as a passer.
Flagged down at the end of a 2-yard run from Sean Tucker as Peyton Wilson made the tackle for the Wolfpack.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 11, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Tack on 15.
Wilson, who's a really good player, just kind of up high on Tucker. And but to finish up on Robert Anai, who comes from Virginia, obviously was very creative with what he was doing at Virginia and has moved players around, and quarterbacks have played well under him. You think about experience with guys like Taysom Hill and Bryce Perkins, and I think he's doing a similar thing with Garrett Schrader.
Who looks to the air, to the sideline for Gadsden, who drops it. Made the adjustment, drops the pass. Devin Boykin in coverage.
Yeah, look, that could have gone either way. You know, Gadsden's covered. I was surprised he threw this ball, and then, you know, Gadsden does a great job of reacting to the football. I thought he got away with a bit of a push-off on the touchdown. Does a nice job of kind of being subtle with his hands as he's fighting to come back for the ball, and almost made a great play for Schrader.
Top target for Garrett Schrader in this Robert Anai offense. On 2nd down, just 4 for NC State, and there's Gadsden. Sure-handed this time, inside the 40 in the plus territory. A gain of 24.
And just running an inside fade on Tanner Engel, and Engel does a great job flying around, but man-to-man coverage, especially against a bigger wide receiver, look at the separation he's able to create. And look, if I'm Tony Gibson already, I'm probably thinking of, hey, how can I double Aranda Gadsden, because we can't cover him right now.
Tucker weaving and diving for a 1st down, and Peyton Wilson came in late. Tucker takes a shot up high and slow to get up.
Slow to get up, and Sean Tucker has kind of been playing through some dings. Watch at the finish of this run. He's down, and Peyton Wilson is up high, hit to the head and then down to the ground. And I wouldn't be surprised if they stop this to look at targeting.
Crowd wanted at least a late hit on Peyton Wilson. Tucker to the sideline, and the true freshman LaQuint Allen, 20 in blue, back in. Schrader, right side, Gadsden again. Toe tapping for a first down, working on Tanner Engel yet again.
Yeah, it's Engel once again. It's a fake wide receiver screen, and then up the sideline to Gadsden. And I'll say it again, he needs more attention if you're Tony Gibson, I believe, because right now he's become a problem for the secondary of NC State.
4 for 58, and that is great to see. If you're a Syracuse fan, Sean Tucker returns. Final minute of this opening quarter in a top 20 tussle between NC State and Syracuse. Gadsden lined up in the backfield. Schrader takes off. And they will do plays like that a lot with draws, with one look and go for Garrett Schrader in the run game.
Well, and think about this. They get into unbalance to the left. They bring Gadsden into the backfield, who, by the way, is a tight end, receiver, whatever you want to call him. And then they run the quarterback to the unbalanced, to the side, to the open side, not the unbalanced side. That is some of the creativity and the challenge that you get facing a Robert Anae called offense.
Tucker, nowhere to go. Sturdy defense from NC State. Ball popped out at the end of it. As Tucker worked back to the line of scrimmage, Tanner Engel to stop. And that will take us to the end of this first quarter. Whole lot of anticipation for this one. Fast start for Syracuse. NC State shorthanded with a response. Come on back to the Dome.